and welcome to the Championship preview and predictions. This is where we have a look at the weekend's fixtures and I give my thoughts and opinions on what I think the score will be. This is something we do every week. We cover this and we also cover a review of the Championship over the weekend. So it's, we cover a fair bit of Championship and it is really hotting up at the moment. So let's get into the first game. So Friday night, the game is between Wigan and Bristol City. So Wigan have had a decent start. They find themselves in 8th place with 3 wins out of the last 5. They started off with a 3-2 win over Sheffield Wednesday before 2 defeats, 1 in the Cup, and then a 2-2 draw with Nottingham Forest. Since then, they've had 1-1, lost 1, 1-1, lost 1, 1-1. Wins against Hull, Rotherham and Stoke. Defeats against QPR and Brentford. Bristol City, they had a difficult start to the season. They drew with Forest, they drew with Bolton, then they lost in the Cup to Plymouth, lost to Middlesbrough, but since then they've been absolutely fantastic. 4 wins, then followed a 3-0 win over QPR, 1-0 win at Swansea, really good 3 points that, a 4-1 win against Blackburn, and then a 1-0 win against Sheffield United. But they did lose in midweek, a 4-2 defeat at West Brom. Wigan, they won their midweek game 2-1 against Hull. I'm going to go for a Bristol City win. That would see them go into second in the league, which would be absolutely fantastic for Lee Johnson's side. Next we go to Saturday. There is a late kickoff. That's at half past 5. But Aston Villa and Sheffield Wednesday is our first game. Aston Villa currently fit in 7th. After no win in their last 4 games, they finally got a win, a 2-0 victory over Rotherham midweek. I think that was on Tuesday, and now they're currently in 7th place. So a decent start overall by Steve Bruce's side. Sheffield Wednesday had a really good start as well, winning 3 and drawing 2 and just losing that one game. But they did lose on Wednesday night, losing 2-1 to Nottingham Forest. This set them back and now they're in the mid-table section. But I think this will be a really good game. Two sides that have started decently, not brilliantly, but okay. I think this one will be tight, but I'm going to go for a 2-1 victory to Aston Villa. This would see them maybe with the right results going into the playoffs, which would be decent considering all of the turmoil at the start of the season with the finances and things. It's really good to see that they've sorted all of that out. Another game that I think will be a really good game is Derby County at home to Brentford. Brentford currently see themselves in 3rd place. What a start for Dean Smith's men. They have won 4 out of their last 5 games, 2 wins, 2 draws, drawing away at Ipswich, which I'm sure they would be disappointed about. Derby, they've had 3 wins and 1 draw and 1 defeat in their last 5 games. But their home form has been very impressive with that Leeds United defeat aside. I think this one will be really tight. If I had to choose a winner, I would go with Derby County. Their home form is decent and I think that will give them the win. However, they do need to keep Maupay quiet if they want to succeed. Somebody who's had an amazing start to the season. Ipswich and Bolton, 2 sides that I thought might struggle this season. Bolton find themselves in 15th after no win in the last 4 games, 1 draw and 3 defeats after a difficult few weeks with the whole situation with the money and them needing money. Ipswich, they have yet to win. They are one of 2 teams without a win so far this season in the Championship. But recently they have drawn 2 of the last 3. I think they'll get the first win of the season here. I think Ipswich will beat Bolton and get their first win of the season. And this could see Bolton's really good start at the start of the season just tail off, and now they're going to be where people predicting them to be, around the relegation zone. But a win for Ipswich would be massive. If they don't get that win, I think that Paul Hurst will be sacked because they're running out of time a little bit. They need to start winning games. Next, Leeds entertain Birmingham. So Birmingham had a decent draw, I guess, on Friday night against West Brom. They followed that up with another decent draw against Sheffield United. They have drawn 4 of their last 6 games, no, 5 of their last 6 games, and their last 4 games in a row. They are yet to win, but have only suffered defeats in the Championship twice, one at Bolton and one at Middlesbrough. Leeds, they are top of the league, 5 wins, 3 draws, 0 defeats. So it's an unbeaten side against a side that hasn't won this season. And I can only see one winner. I can only see Leeds winning 2 or 3-0, a comfortable win against Gary Monk's side. Obviously, the former Leeds manager. I think a win here would be, another great win, and they would be over the 20 points mark and really be starting to hopefully put a distance between themselves and Brentford. There's already 3 points, so that could be increased with a win here. Birmingham, I think that they'll be alright. I don't think they'll go down, but they need to start turning draws into wins as soon as possible. There are some really, really good games this weekend, and the next one is one that I think will be a very, very, very interesting game, and that's Middlesbrough and Swansea. So Swansea lost midweek, losing 1-0 to Stoke, which has just taken them out a little bit of the playoffs and put them into 10th position. Middlesbrough at second after a 2-0 victory over Bolton. Just 1 defeat in their last 5 games coming at Norwich. That's the only defeat they have suffered this season. They've been so solid, just 3 goals conceded all season. Swansea, they've been quite solid, only 6 goals conceded. That's one of the lowest, but only 7 goals scored. That is the same as Preston, who are currently in the 23rd. So that is something that is very, very, very worrying indeed. Middlesbrough at home, they've been absolutely exceptional. They've won every game. I think that will continue. I think they'll get the win 1-0 to Middlesbrough, and that will see them on 20 points from 9 games. Very, very decent start to the season. Nottingham Forest and Rotherham is our next game. So Nottingham Forest, with that 2-1 win over Sheffield Wednesday, that's put them up into 11th. They've been drawing a hell of a lot of games. Just 1 win and 1 defeat, drawing the rest of the games before that 2-1 victory over Sheffield Wednesday. 2-1 victory sees them going to 11th, and now they couldn't try and push and see themselves in that playoff picture. Rotherham, they are in 18th, 9 points so far, 3 wins and 5 defeats. Their aim is simply to stay up. Anything that they get from this game would be a brilliant, brilliant achievement. I think Nottingham Forest will get the win. I'm going to go 2-1 to Nottingham Forest, getting the 3 points. Next, we travel to Reading. Reading will be taking on Hull. Reading are currently in 22nd place. After a brilliant win at Preston over the weekend, a 3-2 victory at Deepdale, they did suffer defeat again, a 2-1 loss at home to Norwich City. Hull, they are just above the relegation zone, 7 points, 2 wins, 1 draw and 5 defeats. So 2 sides that are really, really struggling, and because of that I can only see a draw happening. I'm going to go 1-1, both cancelling each other out there, but a win for any side would be absolutely huge. Sheffield United take on Preston. Preston was a side that I thought would do quite well this season. They've got a good manager who's had a lot of success, but that has not happened. 4 defeats in their last 5 games, only 1 win all season. That was on the opening day against QPR. Sheffield United, after 2 defeats in 2, they've really put that foot behind them. 4 wins, 1 draw and 3 defeats. 3 wins in the last 5 games, and had a draw against Birmingham on the weekend, in the midweek on Wednesday. So I can only see one winner here. I can only see Sheffield United getting the 3 points at home and moving up the table. Preston, it's worrying times. I don't think there'll be many games before Alex Neil may lose his job. Already 8 games in, he's had a lot of time. He needs to start picking up results as soon as possible. Stoke is where we go next. They will be entertaining Blackburn. So they've picked up in the last 4 points in the last 2. They finally stopped, the losing. They've really struggled. They really struggled. But 7 points from their last 12. That's much better than what they had before. Just 2 points from their other 4 games. So I think that they will continue this good spell of form. and get the 3 points here. Blackburn, they have had 3 draws, 1 win and 1 defeat in their last 5 games. They haven't really conceded many or scored many. They've been quite tight. But I'm going to go for a 1-0 win to Stoke. A win here could see them go into the top half for the first time this season. And that would be really, really positive for Stoke and Gary Rowett. Apparently, Ryan Woods, who I've rated since he was at Shrewsbury, has been doing really well pulling the strings after a move from Brentford. And I'm not surprised at all. A very, very, very classy player. Sam Klugos, I don't think... I don't think he's been involved yet, but he could really offer something else as well. Somebody with a lot of Premier League experience. West Brom, who had a great win in midweek against Bristol City that saw them go into 3rd temporarily, but now back into 4th. Really, really good 3 points. That they entertain Millwall, who just sit just outside the relegation zone on 6 points. 1 win, 3 draws and 4 defeats, and 4 defeats in their last 5 games, including a very, very disappointing 2-0 defeat against QPR. Before that, they did get a very, very creditable draw with Leeds, 1-1 at the Den. I think because this is a home fixture for West Brom, I think they'll get the win. I'm going to go 2-1 to West Brom. Dwight Gale has been absolutely exceptional since moving on loan from Newcastle, and I expect him to be able to get the victory for his side. Finally, we have the televised game, and it's QPR against Norwich. Yes, QPR against Norwich. And interestingly, after a terrible defeat at the top of the form chart for the last 4 games, it is QPR. They have 3 wins and 1 draw from their last 4 games. Really turned it round after that 7-1 and then 3-0 defeat in 4 days. They looked absolutely all over the place, but they really, really turned it round. 3 wins and 1 draw, and then 1 defeat in their last 5 games. Norwich, they've sort of had a better run of games. 3 wins, 1 draw and 1 defeat. So 2 sides that come in form. 12th is Norwich and 16th is QPR. I think this one will be tight, but I'm going to go for a 2-1 victory to Norwich. This victory will be very, very good for them. Once again, they will be trying to push up the table, trying to go in those playoff positions under Daniel Farke. So that is the games. And then we have the Carabao Cup in midweek. Before the fixtures start, again, there's 2 games on Friday night on the 28th. Bristol City versus Aston Villa and Sheffield Wednesday versus Leeds. So we'll get into all of those next week. I will check out the review. That'll probably be on Monday. But, you know, sometimes it doesn't. And it's out on different days, but most of all it's on Monday. So feel free to check that out. I hope you enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you are new. Like the video if you enjoyed it. My name is Mike, and I will see you soon.